last meeting. The first was the festival meeting. You all had a chance to review that?
I make a motion to approve the meetings for the festival.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The second was the RDC meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept those minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And finally, a regular board meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for the last board meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Here, do I have that? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to our reports this evening.
Roll call.
This should have been you,
Oh,
so just go
okay,
ahead.
we'll let the record reflect that all board members are
Right here?
present,
That's fine.
albeit maybe late.
All right, on the water, the plant's treated 1,388,380 gallons of water since July 14th. Our average daily usage has been 99,170. That's up from flushing hydrants. Filters were backwashed on the 21st and 27th. We flushed and serviced all the fire hydrants. We also replaced all the bad gaskets and replaced the steamer fitting on the hydrant at the fire station. It had been cross-threaded on there, so it was out of service. And we're gonna be painting all those ones that we've got primed next. And it's not on here, but we flushed about 350,000 gallons is why our usage is up. Under wastewater, been performing daily checks at the lift station and the sewer plant. Lift station's pumped 1,804,981 gallons since our last meeting, and our average daily usage has been 128,927. Sewer plant's closed. We're not discharging. Our weekly sewer samples are complete. The July wastewater report's complete and has been submitted to IDEM. BL Anderson will be here tomorrow to install and calibrate the new meters for the sewer plant. And TNT Industries out. They had to change the transducer in the lift station, and the transducer was warranted, but the trip charge wasn't. On streets, Elite Asphalt and Ace Paving have submitted bids for pothole patching, which those are attached for you guys, and I'm waiting on one more that I thought I was going to have before the meeting. The way they were talking, they may be the low bid, so our current low bid $6,200 with the base. Under building, I've had 3 building inspections, 1 permit issued, 3 zoning inquiries, and 2 building permit inquiries. And then the street repairs in phase 4 of the subdivision have been completed. The surface paving has been completed. The storm drain inlets have been grouted. And then they have the other items on the list to be completed. I'm meeting with Duke Energy tomorrow. They haven't called me for some reason about that sewer for Dollar General and that pedestal. So, but on the phone, it indicated that it was a Duke contractor, so they don't have an issue with fixing it. Their supervisor's coming out to look at it tomorrow. And then on that work of the subdivision, you got 4 emails there for me at the back of your packet. So I met last Friday when they started street repairs, and met with developer and the gentleman that was here from Wade Journey at the previous meeting. So at that meeting, he indicated that they were going to handle the grading on those lots that are on the east and south end. But then the first email you get is kind of his response from that meeting, that they're only, because they wanted permits, but they only listed 4 lots there, and one of those is not in the affected area. 3 of them are. The other side of that page was my response to him that the lots in question that need to be graded on Hopkins Drive are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Lots 13 and 14 will need additional work on the south side. They will need a swale cut to the storm drain that's at the back of those lots as well. And I asked him if he's committing to correcting these issues. If so, please put a document together that I can present to the council And I said I didn't think it would be an issue, but I need something in writing if the town is gonna release the developer of the responsibility. So then he responded that they're not gonna release him of any responsibility, but somehow they're merely helping do it, yet they're not gonna do it, you know? So I told him I would ask you, but I'm assuming the standard is still gonna be, we're not issuing permits until the issues are corrected. Am I correct in saying that? Because I'm gonna call him tomorrow morning.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
My recommendation, nothing gets, until that list, we can send that list out there for them to do one or two things on it and then go ahead and forget about the rest.
You know-
So that's my recommendation.
And the conversation we had last Friday was completely different because he wanted to get the building pads correct, and the way the conversation went from my view was that they were gonna come in there, fix that grading and get the building pads ready on all those lots that are in the drainage issue, but now apparently it's changed. So I'm just gonna tell them when the list is corrected, permits will be issued. They did drop off 12 more today, so now they have 22 submitted, which is every lot in there.
I stand with what we discussed at the last meeting, that until that, everything on that list is complete to your satisfaction and then to the codes and ordinances, that no permits are issued.
That's fine with me, I will pass it along tomorrow.
Mine too, because my understanding, he said he had money to take care of the grading. He set it aside just for the grading itself.
Well, he originally said the building pads, and then,
It was after the meeting, he was telling us
oh, was
that
it
he
this?
also had money set
Yeah.
for the grading of the land, because he knew it had to be done.
No, I'm gonna pass it along to him tomorrow, so. That's all I have unless you have any questions.
Okay. Moving on to clerk treasurer.
You guys should have my report that talks about, this was for July, the meter deposits. I know that we talked about, the governor's order is, in effect until August the 14th. And so we still can't shut water off until after that. It's a recommendation of the governor that we, like our billing policy right now, gives people like 3 months, time to get, caught up. And he's recommending 6 months, that's just a recommendation, it's not that we have to follow. So in the report, I have there's a contract payment agreement. This was just floating around on the listserv, some of the other towns are using, and they're using like the 6-month payment, to get caught up after COVID, so.
The 3-month workout plan would not start on the day that you could shut somebody off, though. It would start when they're behind.
Yeah, and we've had some people that have gotten caught up, got behind again, so. And right now, there's nothing you can do when they don't keep that payment plan, because we can't
Sure,
shut them off.
but if they haven't checked their payment plan, they can be shut off.
Oh,
We
yes,
are allowed to shut
yes,
them off.
yes.
And
As soon as
that,
it's
our
a
ordinance was a one-time 3-month agreement, and it started before the COVID and not being able to shut people off, so they've had all them months plus, whatever, until the 14th.
Yeah, I mean.
And we shouldn't be giving another 3 to 6 months, and, that COVID, I understand that, the people were laid off of work, but I talked to a lot of people who were laid off, and they were able to draw unemployment, plus, an extra $600, and they were making more money than they were bringing home from work, and then they don't wanna go back to work. So I don't see where, we need to extend it out another 3 or 6 months. I'm to the point, a lot of these same people that are on this list that I see right here, have been on that list for a long time, way before the COVID or anything, and they're not paying, and they're not catching up. And that one, I know for a fact, has been on there for a few years, and I'm to the point where as soon as we're able to turn them off, the first shut-off date, we turn everybody off that hasn't been caught up. We've lost people. We've lost money, and we're gonna end up having, if we're gonna go after some of these, we're gonna have to hire a collection agency, because we have some that nothing was ever done about them. And now that people have deceased, and there's money on the books, and the properties have been sold, in the estates and whatnot, so since we can't file a lien on the property no more because of the property's changing hands, we're gonna have to spend more money and get a collection agents.
I'm still waiting on the MOU for the Trex program, you know.
Which will help. And I mean, we're going to do it if
Yeah.
you guys want to. I don't
We
understand.
just haven't heard anything.
I mean, they wouldn't be executing it anyways because nobody's applying for it. So that'll be helpful and we can do it.
We got a lot of money on the books, it's been on the books for years, and there hasn't been liens or nothing filed, and people keep extending and not paying, and it's just keeping getting further and further out there. And here's my concern. What's gonna happen is, we're getting close to due for a rate increase anyway, just because we haven't had one in years. Our consultant recommends we do one every 2 to 3 years, a small one, so it is a minimal. And what's gonna happen is when he comes in and looks at this, our cash operating is gonna be low because all these outstanding bills that those people are not paying. And when he fixes the rates to get us up to where we need to be, it's gonna be a significant larger amount because of the outstanding people not paying their bills. And that's gonna go on everybody that is paying their bills. To me, it just ain't right for the people that pay their bills on a monthly basis, and then you got people that's been on some kind of payment plan forever, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. And we can't afford it. We need that money in our utility budget.
Anybody that's not on one of the 3-month workout plans, I think that it's more than fair if they were on the shut-off list and were shut off and were to come in and sign up for that plan, it's more than fair to say you have 3 months for these people. I think anybody that's already got one.
The ones that's already got them, I mean, they've
that
had
needs
more
to
than
be- they need to hold up
opportunity.
their end of the deal.
You know, it's just getting out of hand. There's one on there for $3,000 some, you know, and it's like, how much longer are we just gonna keep letting that ride before something's done, or same thing happens, they move out of town, or property changes hands, and then we can't go after that amount of money. That's a large chunk of change just for one resident to be into us in the first place. Should never happen. If we don't do something up here as the town council, it's our responsibility to manage the funds and the ordinances and stuff, and we put an ordinance in place. I wanna follow it.
And I think that the 3-month plan, you know, that building policy is a lot more lenient than what we had before. And that 3-month plan is one of those things that we put in there to help people out. And I'm of the opinion, I'm agreeing with you, I think that's more than adequate. And I don't know.
Well,
We would need to come up with some kind of a new agreement that would give people 6 more months on top of that.
Yeah, I said, to me, you know, the ones that are on here has been on here, yeah, they should have been caught up a long time ago, and they're still on there. And if you keep letting people get away with it, they're never gonna catch up and stay on top of their bill. And, you know, I'm guaranteeing you that the other utility companies, gas, electric and whatnot, they ain't doing that to them, or they wouldn't have those utilities turned on.
The 4 on collections that I have on there, they have skipped town, can't find them, can't find a number for them or anything. So they would be good for the Trex program, you know, because they
Sure.
will find them. They'll be taken out of there.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I think that's a great
So I'm not
option
sure
for
why I
us.
haven't heard back.
I mean, as far as this or a potential similar contract goes, I'm personally not in favor of that. We need a provision in our ordinance that would allow for some relief. And I think it's more than adequate.
Well, I don't understand this, and I'm looking at one particular here, I won't make this name, but the current bill, I don't have my glasses on, I think it was $169. They, paid that, I guess, plus they put $25 on the arrears, and there are $411 in arrears. What I want to know is, how do you pay a $400 bill off $25 a month at a time? I mean, you know, you live in years.
When you take the arrearage and divide it by the 3 months, and that's what they have to pay, plus their original water bill to get it.
Yeah, they have to pay their
That's how
monthly
you-
bill
you
that
make
they
the-
owe.
You make the payment arrangement for them as far as the amount. mark those, but some of them have been liens and collections, you know, from when Robin was here.
Yeah, that could be,
So
yeah.
I didn't mark all of that, but.
And this one here I was talking about may be in English, I don't know.
Now, is there any more discussion on this, or should we proceed in accordance with our billing policy?
I say we stick with our billing policy and say the ones that's already had for 3 months and haven't paid, we shut them off on August shut-off date, and the others that are behind, that haven't had the opportunity to fill that out, we shut them off and have them to come in and fill the form out and give them the 3 months and follow our ordinances. There's no sense in writing them and sitting up here making ordinances if we're not gonna follow them.
Amen.
Policy.
I agree.
Okay, the only other
If
thing
that's in the
I
form
have
of
is.
a motion, I'll second it.
Well, we're not changing anything.
No.
So
Oh,
we
okay.
should-
Well, I didn't know if you had to have, you know, because nothing's been done, and nothing's getting done. I don't know what it takes.
I don't know.
It's about the housing authority. This, if we opt out of this, this allows the town to go for like the Okra grants and stuff. If we want to do this, the town hasn't done it since like about 2006. And at that time, it's just like a grant program through the county, but it's like very like $2,000-3,000, you know, but if you.
So do we
if you
have to
go-
officially opt out?
Yep.
Yes, so.
I make a motion if we opt out.
Or you can stay in and not do 600,000 and go to 3,000.
Yeah, yeah.
What's it called?
The Noblesville Housing Authority?
Yes, I have.
I make a motion to opt
That's
out.
been around for a while, and the small towns don't get anything because the money comes in, they give it to the bigger entities in the big chunk, and what's the little pocket change is left gets divided among the small towns. And then by the time they come in, you wanna do something, they do the environmental review and everything, you spend all the money, and you ain't got anything for the project.
We'll carry it through.
Okay.
We have a
Happened,
motion
I've experienced.
to opt out of the program. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Who made the motion? Joe.
Did we make a decision on this payment contract?
Yeah, we are going to proceed
With what
we
with our
have.
billing policy.
No, with our ordinance.
With our billing policy.
Oh, okay, okay.
So we already have, which allows for that. Okay. Old business, we've already addressed potholes and the tractor program. Waiting on both of those. Is there any other old business? Ordinance enforcement. We've been receiving a few applications. I don't know if anybody else has gotten to see those. I've actually met with 2 people that wanted to find out more, and they both submitted applications. One of them's just retired from the sheriff's department in Tipton, and he seemed very interested. And then there's some others, and there's 2 email correspondences that I've not had a chance to reply to, but I have interest in the form of 2 emails that I'll be addressing either tonight or tomorrow. And I don't know, I'm hopeful that we can work to narrow this down and try to get somebody at the beginning of August. We're in dire need.
August 3rd is the last day for applications, correct?
I believe so.
When can do we want to wait till the second board meeting, or do we want to call a special meeting to address that?
I personally think that's a good idea. We can sit down, we can go through the applications, if we talk to anybody or anything, and have any, feelings about a particular person. Try to narrow that list down,
Yeah.
and then if anybody wants to do any kind of interviews, we can. If we feel confident in a candidate, hopefully we can have somebody
Yeah, I don't want to,
in line for the next board.
right, yeah, I don't want to wait till the next board meeting to
Right.
start that process.
Right, no, I
So,
would like,
do we need to put that on the schedule then because we won't meet again.
Yeah, but you can hire somebody and ratify it in any meeting.
Sure, but if we wanted to meet to go over
Oh, yeah.
applications or anything like that. So if the 3rd's the deadline, that's Monday. The 11th would be our meeting, so somewhere around fifth, sixth, or seventh, meet sometime in there, is that,
It's good to me.
well, I better pull out my work calendar.
Yeah,
I work the sixth.
yeah,
So
okay.
So that week I could do fourth, fifth, or seventh.
What days of the week are those?
Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday.
I'm not available on Tuesday or
Okay.
Thursdays.
So the fifth or the seventh would I
How
agree
about the
those days?
fifth?
Sounds
So
good to me.
Is there a time that would work well for everyone? I'm pretty open.
11 o'clock,
What'd you say?
11?
Is that all right with everybody?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We will meet August 11th.
August
Fifth.
fifth.
August 5th at 11 o'clock. There's no other old business, we'll move on to new business. Does anybody have any new business from the council this evening?
Mosquito fogging, do we have a fogger?
Nope, you gotta have a license to do it.
Really?
Yes, you do.
Well,
And if it gets done, it's usually the county. If they test positive for West Nile and a mosquito trap, but they have not contacted me. The county health department that does it.
okay. If the residents see a problem with mosquitoes, can they call for somebody? I mean, how do they?
I don't know, like I said, it's always been there in the past. They would tell me ahead of time, but in the past, they've only fogged if they had test positive for West Nile.
Oh,
They've got mosquito traps up here around town. There's one by the fire department, and there's some other ones that they come up.
so they won't spray unless they have them positive?
That's how it's
usually?
been before.
Okay.
I mean, if you request it, maybe they will, but it's always been in the past.
I think they will, call
If you
down and ask
request
them.
it, yeah.
Okay.
Usually, like I say, they'll call up here, that there's West Niles and those mosquitoes in every trap in Hamilton County, everywhere they
Yeah.
got them set out, they are.
That's the health department you'd call?
The health
Okay.
department.
I don't know who it is now. It used to be Alex Davis, but it's not anymore. It's
Yeah.
somebody new. It was a different guy that was up here the other day.
There's a girl that called on me down in Arcadia that did it for us, that she was with the health department.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, if there's no other new business from the council, is there any public comment this evening? Yes.
I called the railroad about these tracks. I kinda got to run around 3 or 4 times, I wanna know what track I was talking about. I said, how about all 4 crossings? And said that they are inspected once a week. I didn't think there was a problem, and I said, try driving a car over them. And, so.
Golf cart.
Or the golf cart, yeah. And so she said, if I had any concerns, I need to talk to the town board. Well, I know, you guys can't do anything about it.
It's nickel plate.
Exactly. She's just blowing me off, but
I know.
I'm complaining.
I don't know. I don't know where they're at on it, but I know that they got money for them at one time because I know they started in Arcadia, but they said they were doing these up here. But of course, the train hasn't ran all year. Well, I mean, it ran on Valentine's Day, but that was it.
They're just doing caboose rides right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she told me they weren't coming to Atlanta at all right now, so whether they will this year or not, I don't know. But anyway, I thought I'd start complaining because,
We filmed with asphalt one year and got in trouble.
well, I believe it.
They told us we weren't allowed to. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's full of giant holes.
Their property.
They don't want you to
Called
visit
catch
the railroad right away.
22.
Oh, yeah?
Call the town board acts, no, you're wrong. Call the town board acts, you're wrong, yeah.
I mean, I've cut some bolts off because they've worked out and stuff. I've taken the saw out there and
Snow plow.
cut-
Hit a hole in the snow plow, it'll stop your truck.
bolts
Yeah.
off. And
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
wish they would do them all.
maybe more people ought to start calling and complaining because my one phone call, I might as well save my breath.
Well, that one in Cicero on Jackson Street
It's
is terrible.
horrible. Yeah, it's worse than these. I don't know if it'd do any good to call the highway department, the state highway, for 19, see if they put any pressure on them or not, but.
Well, they redid that one a couple of years ago. I know it's not the best,
Yeah,
but
it's, I
it's
just
that
know it's
new
gonna keep
rubber-
getting worse,
Yeah.
so I'll call again just to see. I don't care.
Is that under the county?
Yeah.
The Port Authority?
Port Authority is, yeah. I mean, and actually, this section up here would be your county commissioners.
Call Tom from Zion, we do with the money.
So who would we call if we wanted to add to our complaint?
The Hamilton County Port Authority,
Okay.
Yeah.
no, they own it.
I'll try my best to make a call myself. We'll see what we can do.
In your spare time, whenever that is, because I know it's doing good. But I thought, you know, by the time I'm dead, maybe it'll get fixed.
Any other,
We don't want it to last that long, come on.
any other questions or concerns this evening? Yes, ma'am?
So when we're paving as a town, when are we gonna start milling stuff down? Instead of paving over and over and over the road?
When we have money.
Because Andy's been, you know, I know you guys know my property and the problem. But on my property, and if you walk around town, everybody else's property is below street level,
Streets.
because we just keep adding to it. I mean, I have water that stands in my yard, not a long time, but, you know, I know other people are worse off at it, and it's
Mine's the
just
same way too. You can see my sidewalk with
gonna, yeah. So, I mean,
in all reality, most of the roads, I personally think, if you just looked at it, are probably about that high. I think there should probably be dropped down and actually have a curve, but.
Money,
short
money,
of a
money,
very,
money.
Very friendly donation or a very large grant, I don't know.
Win the
how we get
lottery.
there.
Or a pound of that.
Yeah, does the town play the lottery?
Can you afford $2 a week?
You know, it's something that, we like to do, but this last one especially, it was, the roads were so bad that adding to it was preferable to not being able to do anything, so.
I wasn't here last time, but the potholes were not having this filled?
We are.
Oh, we are, okay.
We're waiting on one more bit.
We had some astronomical bids,
Okay.
so we're gonna get some more.
Anything else this evening?
I'd like to put something on the agenda for next meeting. Something we need to think about is this ballpark. And maybe we should consider the pros and cons of selling that place.
Well, there's a guy, which I'm glad you brought it up, because I told him to contact you, and we about filled that 30-yard dumpster out there, and they're working out there. A gentleman came in driving a nice truck. He asked me about it, and asked me if it was for sale. And I said, you need to talk to the town council, and I told him when your meetings were. So,
I think when we got that there, I think it was said in the minutes that it could not be sold.
Yeah, but your club's dead now.
I know, but still yet, I mean, it's given to the town.
Unless there was a codicil or something in the.
We're in a tricky spot though, because we've spent, I don't know how much money trying to make something happen, and it hasn't happened.
over $50,000.
Yeah, we need,
And I would like to, I'm with you that I would like to see kids playing baseball there.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe the way to make that happen is for an organization, there's a market for that. Like
Oh, yeah.
Grand Park has kids playing all the time because they rent their fields out. We don't have the resources or the personnel to be able to administer something like that ourselves. But there's a market for that. That's why they just spent, how much did they spend on Noblesville School? $2 million
million on
to
one
build
field.
one field for Noblesville because they needed more space.
It's all hard.
So, there is a possibility that somebody would have interest in buying it, not as farm ground or a business or something like that, but as a ball diamond. And it be in perfect tip-top shape with kids playing there all the time, and the town wouldn't have the responsibility anymore, and we'd have money that we could say, put into our park for the kids that do play on that property. That's my personal thoughts on it. But I mean, I feel like we've been around and around and around with several different organizations. We all know
Took
how
advantage of
the
us,
one
I know.
went. And there's, 3 that, oh yeah, we are 100% interested this year, can we do this, that, or the other? Two,
Right.
yeah, and they couldn't even give us a plan of what they wanted to do. And meanwhile, it's just.
Coronavirus kind of put a kink in that.
Sure, but since they're not playing, that's time they could have been working on the fields,
Yeah.
you know?
We're talking
There's always
about
next
us.
year, and if they were not planning ahead, then,
So, I don't know, ultimately, I think it would behoove us to entertain every possible avenue. And if there's another group that comes along this year that's interested in using it, like what we had talked about in the past, maybe that's the way to go, but I don't wanna rule anything out. I think we'd be unwise to do so.
Does anyone have an idea how many local kids,
No,
not many at all that I'm aware of?
There isn't many left.
they don't even play ball.
Yeah, they're all older.
All pickup.
And if they do, they're with Hamilton, they go to Hamilton Heights, which is this road, but, now.
Yeah, but you don't even see little games of kids playing,
Yeah.
little backyard ball or anything. They're busy with their fingers, but
Modern technology, you play baseball instead,
Yeah,
conditioning.
you do. Air conditioning out of the
Any other businesses in the, can I get a motion to sign the claims and adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we sign the claims, adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Ah.
Aye.